Welcome everyone. So I'm covering Ambipom. First things first, new ability, expertise. This new ability makes it so it's parental bond. Okay, so what it does is it makes your second attack, 25% damage, and basically all your moves will hit twice. The second hit will do 25% damage of the original hit, and that effect is incredible with doubling. We all know what it does, alright? It doubles the effect of moves. So power up punch gives you +2 attack, which I'll get into. I'll get into the actual nitty gritty of each ability. I just want to quickly establish what that ability is for those of you who are new here. And the logic of that is pretty obvious given the fact that he has these two giant hands to smack with. Ambipom does not have expertise because it just doesn't really make that much sense in my opinion, and because I mean, it would be fine if it had it, but I don't know. It's just also kind of overpowered for the early game. So Prankster is better, not better, but more fitting. I should probably also make this level 32. I'm not gonna lie, it's really strong, so I'll do that. I'll keep it at 30. It's fine. Power punch is so good though. But anyways, where should I start? Stat-wise, they have very minor buffs. Ambipom is much faster and evolves at 30, and it has more attack and is not much less bulky, but slightly less bulky, and has two great abilities with Technician and Prankster. Prankster fits pretty well, given the whole it's a little cheeky monkey. He's a little cheeky fucker. So that's really cool, but I actually made it so Prankster, because you might be thinking, oh, Technician is so much better. So early game, you had access to Technician, Thief, Fake Out, and Quick Attack before Hala. You have those 3 Technician boosted moves, but you have Prankster, Switcheroo, Prankster Torment, Prankster Plainess is already priority. I believe Switcheroo is already as well, but I changed it. I'm pretty sure Trick and Switcheroo are priority. But Prankster Encore, Prankster Swagger, Prankster Quick is already obviously priority. Prankster Tickle is the big one. Prankster Tickle for Hala is very useful. You are already very, very fast, but then for the second island, your Ambipom will have Prankster Screech, which is niche. It's so Tickle is -1 defense and special. -1 defense and attack, while Screech is just -1 to both defenses, so Tickle is low-key better, but I still put the Screech there for flavor because he's a monkey and stuff. And also, to drop Spidef, it's pretty useful for some totems, because there's 3 rapid-fire totems, one after another in Akala Island. So all of these stat debuffing moves, that's why all these Pokemon learn those moves in the mid-20s, because that's when it's going to be the most useful. And then they also get some in the early 30s, and those will be useful for like Olivia and Totem Togedemaru. And it's not that these moves aren't useful for trainer battles. It's just with the totem it's 1v6 or 2v6 technically. With the trainer battle it's 6v6, so the stat drops will last much longer on the totems, and they're also technically stronger than the trainers, but only on individual level. I would say overall trainer battles are harder, but this is not a video about that. Screech is also, but then you also get Prankster Charm and Befriend at level 25, which is great for the remaining Akala totems. And of course, you already have a very high 106 base speed, but there also be Pokemon that are faster. You can also run a bulky set with Prankster, so you can run 0 speed investment with max attack and max HP, or max defense and max HP for a totem, for example. Because you have access to infinite EV training, you can easily change your EV spreads at will. And so you can just be like, oh, you know what, for this totem, I'm going to run Prankster Charm or Prankster Befriend, which is for those of you who aren't familiar, Befriend is special charm. There's a lot of new moves. Virtually every single move in the game is changed, so if you want to check all those out, you can go to the Google sheet in the description and check out the moves on this move guide here on the bottom. It's lagging because I clicked it, but tons of new priority moves, tons of new awesome, powerful, strong, fun moves. You can see them all here. But anyways, can I go back, please? Come on. Please, come on. There we go. So, man, I'm itchy. Sorry, it's just really bothering me. Okay. Bug bites? Oh, I hate bug bites. Okay, so yeah, Prankster is useful. Technician is obviously great. Early game, you have Quick Attack and Fake Out, and then you get access to Double Slap right before Hala. Double Slap is 30 base power per hit, and it has a pretty high flinch rate. Ultimately, I think overall it's about a 27% flinch rate if you consider that it hits twice. 30 base power per hit, so that's 90 base power with Technician, and that hits twice, so it's really nice. For early game, it's very powerful. And then via TM post Hala, you get access to Rock Tomb and Bulldoze, which are 90 base power with Technician. Grass Knot is physical and is strong, especially early game, because most of the time you're going to be getting 40 to 60 base power on Pokemon, because Pokemon are pretty light early game. So you get Technician, Grass Knot on a lot of Pokemon. And Grass Knot in general is nice with Technician because it basically makes it so the lowest, like it's the same goes for Low Kick, by the way. Grass Knot and Low Kick are the same. Also, Grass Knot and Low Kick drop speed by 1. Same with Bulldoze and Rock Tomb. So that's really awesome. You know, you get trips. That's the logic. You have Covet, which is 60 base power, becomes 90 base power, and it's fairy type. That's good coverage. Knockoff is 90 base power, 60 base power always, which is a nerf for other Pokemon because it's just a stupid move. But it is it's a buff for Technician Pokemon because Technician Pokemon will always get 90 base power knockoff, which is cool. So you have knockoff for 90 base power, Covet for 90 base power, Rock Tomb, Bulldoze, Grass Knot, Low Kick, and then you have Bind, which is it doesn't hit twice, but it does give you residual damage for 6 turns. 12% of the HP will be taken for 6 turns, which is really solid. And then you get Power Up Punch, which we'll talk about that with Expertise in a second, because Expertise is incredible. Also, stat-wise, they just have more speed, a little bit more bulk, a little bit more attack. Nothing too crazy because their abilities are already super nutty, and the new move rules, the new move buffs with all of the new moves, Technician and Expertise are amazing moves abilities to have. So I didn't really need to give them too crazy of stat buffs, to be honest. Also, I just don't really see anything higher than 109 base attack for Ambipom's design. 116 speed is a very good speed tier. If you check on the sheet, you can look at the speed tier guide. You can see where that stacks up against other Pokemon for now. Right now, he is speed tied with Tauros, and he outspeeds all of these base 115s, and it's just a really nice speed tier to be in. So that's awesome. Can I please go lower? Come on. Sorry, buddy. Okay, there we go. What was I just saying, man? I lost my train of thought. Oh yeah, Technician moves. So Power Up Punch, 50 base power, 100% accurate, 100% chance to boost your attack. With Technician, that becomes 75 base power. So that's really, really great. It's a 75 base power move that is fighting type coverage, which is good for normal stab. So that's great with Technician, as obviously. And then you have First Impression and Acrobatics. Acrobatics with Technician is 75 base power, and without Technician, it's 100. With no item, it becomes 100 base power. So you can run Flying Gym Acro and get that 130 base power Acrobatics on the first turn, and then for every consecutive use, Acrobatics will be 75 base power. So for Technician sets, Acrobatics is pretty solid for sure. If you wanted to, if you needed the flying coverage for that fight, it's pretty solid. But definitely better than Bounce. Although Bounce is obviously a solid move for earlier, but Acrobatics is better once you get it. First Impression is really good. First Impression is 60 base power, but it always crits. So it becomes 90, and then with Technician it becomes 135. So that's a very powerful, smack move. You can just teach that onto your TM. You can teach that via TM for specific situations. So, oh shit, I have this mon in front of me that dies to Fimp. I call it Fimp. First Impression. You can click it and then you get that priority. It's very fast, very strong. You have access to, that's all of it. That's all the Technician moves by TM and Tutor. Now by level up, I went up to level 19. After level 19, you also get access to Technician boosted Beat Up. Beat Up is a very solid move. Beat Up's formula works, so basically it takes your base attack and then it divides it by 10 and then it adds 5. So Ambipom has 109 base attack, divide that by 10, that's 10.9, which rounds up to 11, add 5, that's 16. That's 16 base power for your Beat Up hit. And then obviously, say you had a bunch of Pokemon on your team. Let's say all your other Pokemon were 100 base attack. So you would be getting 15 base power beat ups on every other Pokemon. So 15 times 5 plus 16. Did I get 16 for you? Yeah, I did. So for example, if you have a base one, so basically, if you have all your Pokemon alive right now in the battle and beat up, well, you're beating 6 times, so that also, of course, bypasses stuff like Focus Sash and Sturdy and all this other great stuff. It bypasses all that, Culver Berry, etc. So beat up is very, very good. And it's extremely powerful because of how Technician works. Beat Up is really strong with Technician, and you get so for example, say all your Pokemon have 80 base attack besides Ambipom. Say you're running a bunch of special attackers or low attack ones. The point is, depending on your team, Beat Up can do, say for example you have a bunch of 130 base attack mons in an Ambipom. That's 13. That's 18 times 5. Come on. Plus 18 times 5 plus 16. That's the raw base power beat up. And then if you add the Technician boost on top of that, each hit is Technician boosted, you get a 159 base power dark move. Obviously, the downside being if your Pokemons are, why did I just say Pokemons? If your Pokemon are fainted, you lose that beat up hit, which can be a big deal. But you know, if your Pokemon are alive, beat up is extremely powerful, and it's very good coverage, obviously, because it hits ghost types and stuff that normal type does not hit, obviously. So that's really nice to have. Obviously, you'll get Fury Swipes later, which is more consistent, but beat up is potentially much stronger. And actually, on average, beat up is stronger because the average power of beat up is about 86 base power. I think I did the math. If you average out base attack stats for fully evolved Pokemon, you'll be getting roughly 86 base power, which with Technician, that's much stronger. And then the average power of Fury Swipes is 77.5. All the multi-hit moves are 77.5 on average because they're 25 base power per hit. So beat up is stronger on average. The only downside being if your Pokemon are fainted, or if you're running a bunch of like special attackers with low physical attack stats, then Fury Swipes is better. So it's up to you, whichever one you prefer. Beat up is also consistent. Obviously, if your Pokemon are dead, that's not consistent, you know, but it's still consistent in the sense that it's not luck based. You can control the base power beat up. So I would prefer using beat up personally, but Fury Swipes is always there, and it's a lot less like confusing if you just want to run that instead. But that's another Technician move. And then at 39 up until 43, so you get Bullet Seed, Rock Blast, and Comet Punch at 39, which is really early. I also gave them the multi-hit moves pretty early because, number one, they are extremely powerful. So the minimum base power of these multi-hit moves with Technician is 75, and the maximum base power is 188. And again, the average is 77.5 without Technician. So with Technician, the average base power of these multi-hit moves is about 116, which is really, really high. Obviously, that's on average, though. You're gonna get fucked over and get 75 base power sometimes. However, 75 base power isn't bad. 3 hits, I believe, is what? 75 times 1.5. I can't do math right now. 112, 113. Okay, I knew that. I don't know why I didn't know that. Okay. Yeah. Point is, like, you know, 3 hits is 112. 4 hits is 150, 5 hits is 188.5. Very, very, or 188 rather, not 180.5, 188. So that's really strong. On average, you'll be getting that 116 base power with Technician. So those are really, really good moves to have. And they, of course, bypass Focus Sash, Sturdy, all that other stuff. Expertise also does that. So Ambipom is great in that regard, that it can just completely ignore all of these abilities like Multiscale and you know, Energy Shield and Sturdy, all these abilities, it completely ignores those, and Focus Sashes, which are pretty common on trainers. So that's really cool. You have Bullet Seed, Rock Blast, Comet Punch earlier because those are useful coverage moves. Don't get me wrong, they're very, very good. But then Pummel and Fury Swipes cover you whatever normal type doesn't hit. So Pummel and Fury Swipes is Fighting and Dark. Those are all 25 base power each per hit. 100% accuracy as well. All of them are consistent now in that regard. So Pummel and Fury Swipes obviously hit what normal type doesn't. You know, Rock and Steel, Pummel hits, and then Ghosts, Fury Swipes hits. Obviously, assuming they're pure typed Pokemon, there's a lot of multi-typed mons that will still resist those or be neutral. But it's still really good coverage to have those 3 moves. You can run those 3 and then a filler move if you want to run Technician sets. Normally, I definitely recommend swapping your abilities often, and I still recommend that here, but it's actually more like your moves kind of don't have the best overlap like your Technician sets. A lot of the times, unless you're running the TMs and Tutors, which you have a lot of Technician moves here as well, don't get it wrong. Like, for example, Rock Blast is more consistent. Sorry, Rock Tomb is more consistent than Rock Blast. You know, you got late game, you got powerful ones too that are also stronger than the multi-hits. So, you know, use those as expertise. Like, for example, expertise close combat is, you'll get -2 to both your defenses, obviously, but you will be getting a really good base power on that. 25% of 120 is what? I can't do math in my head right now. 60, half of 150 is base power for expertise close combat versus, you know, Pummel 4 hits is 150. So yeah, the max power is still stronger, but it's much more consistent. So close combat is definitely better with expertise. And then you have that's it for your Technician moves. Actually, technically holdback is Technician boosted, but like you're not using holdback on Technician sets really. I'll get into what holdback does in a little bit because that's an amazing move for expertise. So expertise, there's a lot of uses for expertise. So like I said, it bypasses 30 and all this other stuff. So that being said, it also does a lot of other things. It obviously boosts the power of your moves. It gives them a 25% boost, while Technician gives a 50% boost. So Technician is technically stronger, but then you have to consider, you know, the base power of the moves that you're using makes it so expertise is overall stronger at late game at least. But the benefit of Technician is that you can use multi-hit moves, which bypass stuff easier because the second hit is weaker, so you maybe won't be getting that much damage with like a multi-scale, for example. But it is really useful for Sturdy. But meanwhile, the point is like Bullet Seed and shit, like, you know, blast right through Sturdy and super effective weakening berries, while expertise still does the same thing, but not as much but you do have great expertise options. So Power Punch is incredible. Ambipom is the fastest expertise Pokemon as of right now, and it probably will stay that way. It is pretty frail. It's not paper thin, honestly. Like if you run Charm or Befriend, like you're going to be taking hits really well. Or like even you could run it like a meme Assault Vest set if you wanted to for a specific fight, if you need to take a special hit on the switch or something. It's not like paper thin, but it is pretty frail, which is fitting, obviously. I mean, it shouldn't be bulky. But the thing about that is it's like, so for example, the only other one right now is Kangaskhan, and they are both pure normal type. Mega Kangaskhan rather, but they are both pure normal type. The difference being that Kangaskhan is far bulkier and has way different options. Kangaskhan gets Intimidate into Expertise, or I believe it's Instinct into Intimidate, depending on which of the two ability sets you're running. So Mega Kangaskhan is much bulkier and much stronger, but Mega Kangaskhan can't run an item, and it's much slower than Ambipom. So you get bulk and you get raw base attack is higher, but with the boosting item, Ambipom is stronger. And of course, it's much faster, about 16 points faster than Mega Kangaskhan, I believe. Maybe 13, I forget if it's 105 base speed or 100. Pretty sure I made it 100. I think 105 was excessive for it. It also doesn't make so much sense, but yeah, pretty sure it's 100. Yeah, it's 100. I'm not even about it checking, I remember. So that's awesome with expertise, right? You have tons of great moves. Power Up Punch is super strong. That becomes 60 base. Wait, 50, 1/4 of 50. So that becomes 50, 62.5 base power, which is, you know, almost halfway as strong, you know, almost half the boost. It's literally half the boost that Technician gives. So it is weaker than Technician Power Punch, but you get +2 attack each time you click that, which is incredible. And of course, Expertise works great with all these other moves, all of these really good coverage moves. You know, you got Thunder Punch, Ice Punch, Fire Punch, all this good stuff. Aqua Tail, Iron Tail. Another huge benefit of Expertise is flinch hacks. So with flinch hacks, you have tons of moves that can flinch. I'm going to list them all. So that can flinch. I'm not going to say the ones that always flinch, like Fake Out and Wake Up Slap. Obviously, those will always flinch. But what is this? This is Kanto. Wait, that is Kanto. Why did that? Whatever. I'm just going to. That was a weird remix. I didn't like that. What was I saying? I don't even know why I have Kanto. Like, oh yeah, no, I did switch. I remember I was on Johto, or at least I should have put Johto on. If I had Kanto, then whatever. Who cares? Sorry, I got a notification. Expertise is amazing with flinch moves, but before I cover that, I want to cover moves that drop defense. So Whiplash is an 85 base power normal type move that always drops defense. So with Expertise, you get -2 defense on the second hit. So that first hit will be 85. So 1/4 of 85 is 21.25, times that by 1.3, because at -1 defense, you're getting about a roughly 30% boost to your moves, or 1.33 rather. So that's 28. So add that to 85. Your first use of Whiplash is 113 base power, which is almost exactly the average power of Tail Slap, which is why it's 10 levels later, because it's really, really good. And that still bypasses, you know, Sturdy and Focus Sash and all that stuff. And after the second use of Whiplash, you're going to be doing massive damage, because now they're -2 defense. So the second hit is 170, and then 1/4 of that plus an extra 10%, because it goes from 50% to 60% drop at -3 defense. I know it's weird. The formula's weird as fuck. At -4 defense, it's a 2/3 drop, which will be after 2 Whiplashes. So the point is, Whiplash is very, very potent. I might even swap that in Double Edge, honestly, but Double Edge is very powerful on the first turn. Double Edge is about, what, 156 base power with Expertise, because it's 125 now times 1.25. Yeah, 156 base power. So that's really, really strong on the first hit. But I'll swap them. I think Whiplash is really good, so I'll swap it too. Because you also have like Strength, which is just normal type plus combat. So I don't know why you'd ever use Double Edge at that point, unless you're using it for the defense hacks, because Double Edge does have a 50% chance to drop defense, but it's luck based. So 2 50% chances is very high. That's like over a 70% chance. For those of you who are not familiar with the way the math works, which I don't blame you, math is hard. I'm only good at math in Pokemon, and even then I'm not that good at math in Pokemon. But the way it works is, hold on, can I just type this in first, please? Double Edge and Whiplash. There we go. The way the math works is it doesn't just double the chance, like that's not how probability works. So if you click, for example, a 30% chance move to flinch twice in a row, such as Hoodwink. Hoodwink has a 30% chance to flinch. If you click that with Expertise, it doesn't have a 60% chance to flinch. It has a 51% chance to flinch, because you have to do some weird math to get the number. But I know a couple of them off the top of my head. So I know that 2 30% chances is 51. So Hoodwink has a basically a 50% chance to flinch with Expertise, which is really, really good. Obviously, especially because of how fast you are. Hoodwink is also good. It's 80 base power, so it is weaker than Covet with Technician, and it's weaker than Conley Punch with Technician, but it's still nice coverage nonetheless. You also have Play Rough, which has a 50% chance to drop attack. So times that, but not times it by 2, but you know, have that twice. It's like a really high chance, about an 80%, I believe, something like that. I don't know the 50% twice in a row. It's probably around 80 something if I had to guess. If I had to do the math in my head, too lazy to do the formula out. So that's all really awesome stuff. Lunge also has the same effect as Whiplash, and it's much earlier than Whiplash, but it's non-stab, it's bug type coverage, which is good, especially because bug type is buffed offensively. It Fairy Ghost and Fighting no longer resist bug, so Lunge is a good move on Ambipom for expertise as well. And then you have other moves that can flinch. So Zen Headbutt has a 30% chance to flinch. Aqua Tail has a 30% chance to flinch, and that is it. Power Whip. I think the Power Up is a defense. Megaton Kick, yeah. Megaton Kick has a 30% chance to flinch as well. So Megaton Kick, Zen Headbutt, Aqua Tail, Rock Slide, and Hoodwink, and maybe one more. Oh, Seed Bomb. They all have about a 50% chance to flinch, which is really good. Really good. So that's super annoying and hacksy and toxic. Obviously, you have tons of priority. You have tons of ways to play around Ambipom if you're fighting. Like, it's not the most overpowered thing in the world. Although, if you don't have priority and you can't outspeed it, and you're not running a Scarf Mon, you're kind of asking for it to sweep your entire team if it outspeeds your team. Because yeah, after like 2 power punches, it's a +4 attack, and it's just gonna go to town. So that's a really easy Mon to use. It's a really easy Pokemon to use if you're like not the best at the game. You could totally. And that's how Ambipom is competitive. Like, people make fucking jokes like. I don't know if you guys watched. I mean, obviously you probably watched False Light Waving, assuming you clicked on this, but it's kind of funny that Ambipom, like, fucking shitters just kept using Ambipom over and over again, even though it wasn't that good, just because of how easy and like how on paper overpowered it looks. Because it is, and obviously it's much better now. But okay, this rant is not relevant. But my point is that also you have King's Rock with Technician, which is toxic as fuck, if you want to run that. Also, I didn't mention this yet, but they lost Skill Link, which you might be thinking, no, my Skill Link, no. Well, Expertise, first of all, Expertise is better. Second of all, Technician is better than Skill Link. That's not a hot take. Maybe in vanilla games, it's not, but in this hack, Technician is overall better than Skill Link, because the average power of Technician boosted moves is like 13 base power lower than the Skill Link moves. Meaning, like, sorry, the average power of like the multi-hit moves is only like 10 or 15 points lower than the 125 base power Skill Link, which is, you know, obviously because Skill Link is consistent, but you have other consistent options with Technician now. You have Power Up Punch, you have all these other moves, so I would rather just have Technician. Technician just, it boosts more moves. Skill Link is kind of niche. And also, in terms of a balancing point of view, Skill Link is a lot harder to balance, because Skill Link, I have to put all of their multi-hit moves at like level 50 then. You know, if they're 125 base power consistent, that's strong as fuck. So I gotta put those later. And at that point, the ability is useless for like the entire game until you get to late game. So I'd rather not run it. Also, Expertise would be better than Skill Link. Technician is better than Expertise in a lot of situations. So because of the other benefits of Technician. So that's awesome. And the power potential was really strong. Lastly, I want to cover 2 more things, Holdback and Belly Drum. You also have like regular setup, like Bulk Up. You also have Amnesia and Baton Pass and Nasty Plot Baton Pass. So you can Baton Pass, Amnesia, Nasty Plot, and Bulk Up if you want. And like Work Up and some other stuff if you want to Baton Pass, that kind of stuff. However, Baton Pass is negative priority now, so it is going to be harder to pull it off. Unless there's a special attack in front of you, then you can Baton Pass Amnesia pretty reliably. So that's cool. What else is there? Oh yeah, Holdback is a big deal. So Holdback is at level 65 for a reason. So Holdback with Expertise is extremely powerful because it's 5 base power weaker than Power Up Punch, but it boosts your attack and accuracy by 1 each time you click it. The difference is Holdback doesn't knock out the opponent, and you know, you might be thinking, well, isn't that just worse? I want to kill, I want to do damage. I want to kill the opponent. Well, if you think about it, it's not worse. It's actually better, because you can create a setup where you can now get +6 for free. In 3 turns, you can get +6 attack, which Swords Dance and Bulk Up only have 1 or 3 PP respectively, so you can't get +6 attack with like setup moves normally. But Holdback, you can get +5 rather. This should be 5 PP. Sorry, not 10. That should be 5. Yeah, 5 PP. So you can get +5 attack rather. If you use, I mean, +5 and +6 is the same shit. At that point, you're killing everything anyways. So what you can do is you can charm an opponent in front of you, or you could charm them. You can drop their special attack some other way, get them so they're doing no damage to you, and then you can just click Holdback 5 times, and you can slack off. You can Drain Punch to heal up, whatever you want to do. Meanwhile, Power Up Punch would eventually kill them. After like the second or third Power Punch, you're gonna kill them. Even if they resist, that +5, you're gonna kill them. Like it's not up for question. Hold back will never kill them, so you don't have to worry about that. So you can really use that in a creative way and get a good attack boost there. So I'm giving you the little secret strategies here because I feel like a lot of people are just gonna look at that and be like, oh, that sucks. It doesn't kill them. So yeah. And then lastly, at level 70, you get Belly Drum, which is obviously amazing. It's kind of overkill, honestly, but it's just really good to have. Also, you know, you have your regular shit with Technician. Like, you have regular old fake out, tail slap bullshit. Like, dude, perfect moveset is just Technician, fake out, pummel, Furious Swipe, tail slap. Like, that's all you really need. You know, that covers like all bases, but obviously there's tons of coverage here that you should be swapping between because you do have access to the trainer docs and the boss battle docs, so you can look at whatever's in front of you and get a more optimal moveset. But all of those moves that is listed are level up only, so you can't reteach them until the end of the game. So if you do just want to run that moveset, then go ahead. You want to swap out pummel for power up punch, you know, there you go. Now you got Furious Swipe or beat up, so you can run tail slap, beat up, power up punch, and fake out, you know, whatever it is. You don't really need the fake out boost anyways, but fake out is still a really good move. It's 50 base power, as is quick attack. Both fake out and quick attack are 50 base power, so with Technician those are 75 base power. I think I covered about everything, honestly. Ambipom is just a very easy, straightforward mon, very strong. I don't like Ambipom that much. I like Ambipom. Ambipom's cute. Ambipom is kind of ugly. It's one of the very few Pokemon I kind of dislike, but it doesn't change the fact that I still give it very fitting buffs, and I give it a lot of good ones. I know a lot of people like Ambipom. I think he's ugly, but Ambipom's cute. Yeah, I think I covered about everything. So thank you for listening to this one. I hope it was entertaining. I hope it was informative. If this type of thing seems appealing to you and you're new here, check out the description. You can see my Discord server in there to talk to me and other people in there. And you can go to the Google Sheet in the description and you can look at all these changes for yourself. There's tons of changes and I'm doing these live. So if you're curious about development, it's not finished yet. It is currently in progress. So as I upload the videos, that's when I finish the Pokemon. So for the most part, the Kanto ones that I'm recording now are actually old mons that I never recorded videos for. So yeah, thank you for listening. I enjoyed it. Thanks for, you know, giving me the time of your day to listen to this. Appreciate it.